Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Trek Fleet Command, where today we're going to talk about patch 39 just hitting the game this morning, where the Ferengi bring in the rules of acquisition arc. And even though we know and feel that they've always been here, now they're here for real, at least in a way that you can purchase. Which, if you are looking for something to purchase, I'm printing off copies of the 285 rules of acquisition that you can pick up for $19.99. Only 12 easy payments of that. Isn't that great? It's a fantastic deal. Get in it while you can. Now, speaking of great deals, go into your gift chest. Make sure you collect on the house. Right here. You get 3 Quark shards and a little bit of the gravimetric scanner. So we're going to talk about what this arc has in it, what's good, maybe what's frustrating me. And I'll be honest, I've been saying this a lot. It's not that I think this arc is going to be bad, but I'm not excited about it. And when the dev team had its meeting with the content creators, nobody really was excited there either. So we'll be really curious to see how this actually plays out. But how about we talk about what's in it before we get all negative Nancy? Okay? And then I'll get negative Nancy. Or I'll be positive Patty. Nobody ever talks about positive Patty. So let's talk about patch 39. Now, as you can see, we've got a new ship, the Devore Freesia, that the mechanic works exactly like the Franklin A does, including the scrapping mechanic, where if you get it to tier 9, level 41, and scrap it, you can then get a Devore Freesia. Now, the drawback here, unlike the regular Franklin, is the Devore Freesia does not mine normal latinum really well at all. It actually sucks at it, but it does mine new latinum nodes that we'll talk about here in a bit. So whereas with the Franklin, we might argue only having one Franklin, and that'd be the Franklin A. Here, you might want to have both. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. But here we're going to go through the different rules and the start, where the new things is we got the Devore Freesia. You can see right here on the list, 20 new missions, which we always get new missions with a new arc. 3 new officers, which we'll talk about those in detail here in a second. A new dry dock. Now that's not available for purchase as of launch day. That's going to come around, I believe around the weekend or something. Simply because there's some events that they don't want people taking advantage of by building this dock and leveling it up and everything. But there's a new dry dock, which also comes with a new prime research, prime base attacking. You know, get you a nice bonus when attacking bases. Not something that I'm really excited about. A new battle pass. Now that I am excited about, I feel like the battle pass is one of the best values in the game. If you're wanting to spend a little bit of money, $20 will get you just a plethora of resources, and I really am a big fan of that. Then we got 8 new avatars and 4 new frames. So in terms of content, it feels a little, but we're still going to talk about it piece by piece. Here's the Devore Freesia. It is basically the same battle beetle that you've had before, with like 2 extra prongs on the wings and a weird nose laser cannon. Cute. Minor laser, maybe? I don't know. But here we go. How can you get the Devore Freesia? Similar to the Franklin A, you'll be able to unlock it by scrapping your Devore and earning Devore Advanced Data Cores. The Devore Advanced Data Cores can be converted to blueprints in the Latinum Refinery through the Devore Freesia Blueprints Bundle. Now, real quick on the left side of your screen, take a look at the refinery. We'll see the tab here on the left side. And if you go down to Latinum, and we'll transition it over, you can see that there now is a Devore Freesia as well as a Latinum miner for your normal Latinum. So we've got the blueprints right here that if you manage to turn in, you can start working for it. Or, of course, has to be Ferengily expected, there is a pay option. You can just go ahead and buy it. $100 will give you a full unlock of the Devore Freesia. $100 to mine Latinum. Well, that's what you want to do. Go for it. That is how we're starting off with the Devore Freesia. Let's scroll back over here. You see the amount that you get based on the tier 9, level 41, as we talked about earlier, is going to let you get that extra bit needed to go ahead and fully get that Devore Freesia. When we talked about before, in terms of efficiency, some people find that, you know, having a couple of tier 8s is easier than going through one tier 9. But we got the new officers. We've got Epic Quark, which I love seeing Quark here, and you'll see Quark in a statement very soon, very, very soon. But this is going to be an epic officer that, you know, you're going to have to buy to get in month 1, and that happens with some of our epics that we've had in the previous months. Captain's Maneuver, don't let them take anything, increases protected cargo by X%. Now, you'll see on the screen from STFC.space the full stats for these officers, so shout out to Ripper for having that tool there for us. And that'll be there for all of the officers that we talk about today. Take everything they have, which is increasing mining speed. And I will say that I do like this, a protected cargo officer and a mining speed officer, which really help rounding things out, especially if you do end up with the new dry dock. You now have, really for me, simply going to be an actual dedicated dock for mining. That way I can keep my dedicated PvP dock, my dedicated Armada dock, my 2 dedicated grinding docks, PvE, where I've got 1 set for interceptors, 1 set for traders and explorers. So I do like having this now to mix with that, but now I've got my Borg miners, my regular miners, and now I've got these Ferengi miners. It's not exactly what I had planned when I suggested Ferengi officers over a year ago, but I do like Quark's abilities. Moving on to a new character, Arrock. He's a rare officer. Exploit the market opportunities, increase concentrated latinum mining speed, and increase mining speed. So kind of get a 2-for-1er here. Captain's ability really only intended for use on the Devore Freesia, making it mine even better than it normally would. And then you've got a generalized mining speed increase, which is going to make it really interesting. Do people decide to go with mining speed increases with the Ferengis, or do they maybe stick with protected cargo loadouts? Really curious to see the different choices players make based on these officers in terms of the options. Now, the 2 rares will be much easier to source, especially through events and the battle pass. So those will be probably acquired by most people, especially if they spend the $20. And I know that's one of the questions that many of you are always asking. And then finally, we've got Fess. Pursue profit where you find it, increasing mining speed, but has a negative there where increasing mining speed also reduces protected cargo. And yes, that is your protected cargo. It's one of those where you're trading everything for speed. Is it worth the sacrifice? I honestly don't like Fess. I will probably never use Fess. Now, on the flip side of that, when we were having this conversation, DJ loved the idea of Fess because it provided a negative to a positive. And I do like the idea. I just will never use this officer. I'm never lowering my protected cargo, ever. I feel like there's not enough protected cargo as it is. I'm not purposely lowering it, but that's me. I do like the idea of Fess in terms of there's a negative to a nice positive, and you see the stats on the screen next to the, well, right there. You can see the abilities and the percentages therein. There you get the new dry dock. So now, instead of waiting to be in the level 50 to have 6, you can start getting a new dry dock as of level 30, which I do think is a nice addition to the game. The only thing I don't like is that, as you can assume, it costs money.
You worthless, tiny-eared fool. Don't you know the first rule of acquisition?
Yes, brother.
Then say it.
Once you have their money, you never give it back.
And after I'm coming through a month where I didn't get content and still unannounced content, kind of frustrated. I feel like, new content comes out, give me a free-to-play path to unlock it. And maybe we see the new dry dock as a researcher and it's just a pure pay all the way, fine. But it feels a little rough coming after a month where a mechanic came out, the amalgam, that's not only for raiding, but also for acquiring, shipskin shard trackers and honor guard wharf, 2 of the most important things in the game right now, whether for PvP or hostile grinding. Because remember, those passive bonuses you can get from the shards that are the skins or from the projectiles, it's really, really frustrating to not have those as a player or a way to procure those without going and buying the amalgam. And yeah, I'm kind of frustrated on that. And getting dry dock G only kind of rubs salt in the wound, knowing that now I've got to buy an epic officer and now I've got to buy a dry dock and I had to buy the amalgam. At some point, we have to start looking at January 2022 and February 2022 as being bad, just simply bad for the average player. Now, the good news in this month, there's not as many Armada events. Hey! But the bad news, and I think Quark says it best, the line must be drawn here. No further. Actually, I'll let him say it.
Not me! The line has to be drawn here, this far and no further!
Thank you, Mr. Quark. Exactly. That is where we're at right now, where this is simply something where, look, as a player, you need to put pressure on them to stop allowing this and making this acceptable. How do you do that? You know how to do that. There's a little button up there. See, it's yellow where you go and spend money. Simply stop giving them what they want. Because remember the first rule of acquisition. Once you have their money, never give it back. So if you are looking at this and you're getting frustrated by the constant, it feels like constant theme this year of we've got to pull the money out, but don't reward them for it. Don't reward them for it. It's very, very frustrating to continually have good content locked behind a wall and then not have any foreseeable way of getting that content. Still, the Amalgam now, unlike the Meridian, unlike the Vidar, unlike the Stella, where's the free-to-play path? Where's the ability to go after it? Where's the ability to go after the dry dock, the extra builder, the extra researcher? You know, at some point, we've got to calm down, take a step back and say, hey, we had our opportunity to get the wallet out. Now that time has passed, let it be known. There's other things in the game, frustrating. And I know I'm kind of going on a rant on a post that's supposed to be about patch updates, but why do we still not have the Prime PvP particles? It's been out like a year, a free-to-play path. We've always had primes eventually have a free-to-play path announced, usually within, 8 to 12 months. Still, there are officers and researchers that you just can't get in the game without breaking out the walletos. And I just don't have that much gold press latinum, so maybe I'm just complaining because I'm broke boy status, but oh well. Anyway, there you see the avatars, the frames, and then some improvements. Now, I will give them credit. Some really good bug fixes and improvements added in to this arc. So there we have it. Yeah, there's the totality of the arc. Now, real quick, let's take a look at some of the things on the screen. I will probably, I don't know if I'll have a Devore free show or not. We'll see. I might get one just to do a video. But if we hit our little button here, if you want to take a look at systems that have various utilities, we can scroll around and find some of the new latinums. Now, remember, the new latinum currency is different. So this is your old latinum currency. And then you're going to just find through the map and then find systems like right here in Sirius that now has the new latinum currency that you're going to mine with the Devore free ship. The positive is, I will say this, the payouts for concentrated latinum when it comes to the refinery is obviously going to be much higher than the regular latinum refinery, which is good. You're going to get more latinum for it. At the opposite end of the spectrum, it's more mining, and I don't know how excited I am, but at the same time, the ability to do more refining and to get more latinum in the game, especially for lower level players, is nice. So we'll take that with the grain of salt that it is. I think that a lot of players have asked for, well, hey, I want a Parabellum event for players that aren't level 39. So this is a level 35 plus ship, but it is still kind of opening up the latinum a little bit more a few levels earlier, and in terms of what level 35 versus level 39 can represent, that could be 6 months in the game for a free-to-play player. So it is nice to kind of open that up a little bit for the newer players, and even for older players who simply need to get more latinum, because once we get into the 4-star and 5-star economy, ship parts, commons, sucking down the latinum like crazy. So I think it is a good idea to start working on your Devore free ship. The only question will come is, how often will you use it? Now, according to the dev team, y'all have more max Devores than people that don't. In fact, the content creators seem to be the only people who don't have max Devores. So who on us? And shout out to the moderators on Discord who do have max Devores, multiple, in fact, but not me. Anyway, I want to know what you think about this month down in the comment section below. I do apologize for the mini rant. I'm just a little bit frustrated. I don't think that the arc is going to be bad. If the reason I gave Duality such a great ending in January was because of the event store, but not the events, not the content, and then I'm not really super excited about this content, then I'm going to say my mind. But I want to know if I'm wrong. Are you excited? Like, sincerely, legitimately, are you excited about this? And if you are, let me know in the comments section below. You're amazing. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with our Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. More videos coming out specifically about the officers, about the Devore Freesia, and the new content, as well as the event structure rolling out this month. Y'all been amazing. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. I'm out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.